Hi guys. Okay, here's the last video then that I'm making. This one is going over the supporting details, which you guys did some online for today, and we'll talk some more about on Thursday. But let me just go through this video presentation, or this PowerPoint, to help explain things a little bit more. All right, so chapter 5 on the supporting details. The couple of things that we want to get out of this one thing is the question, what is a supporting detail? And basically supporting details are reasons or example that support the main ideas. These are the details that help you understand, or they explain the main ideas. In this chapter, it focuses on two ways of basically breaking down the supporting ideas in a paragraph. One of those ways is an outline, and one of them is a map. So let's go through the rest of this. So here we say, first my bowl rolled under the sofa, then my water dish was too warm, then the squeaker broke on my rubber pork chop. I've had a horrible day, and I'm totally stressed out. So the first question is, what's the dog's main point? And the main point is that he had a horrible day and he's stressed out. The last thing. His support is all of the things that happened, right? His ball rolled under the sofa, then his water dish was too warm, and then the squeaker, the noisy thing, in his rubber toy thing, that broke. So he's totally stressed from all of those things. So what are supporting details? We talk about them as reasons, facts, examples, description, other kinds of evidence that support the main idea. If we talk about the main idea as a table, the support would be the legs of the table. So if we look at this one, we want to say, well, which one of these is the main idea and which are the supporting details? Now, back in the last chapter, we had activities like this where we were just looking for the topic and the main idea. And we said that the topic is the one that's not a sentence. And we said the main idea is the most general one. So we're going to use the same skills here for finding the supporting details. First, we'll find the main idea, which is going to be the most general, and then everything else that's a sentence is going to be the supporting details. So we say people who do not exercise regularly after age 30 suffer the consequences. Inactive people lose nearly 1 pound of muscle each year after age 30. After age 30, inactive people lose about 5% of their strength every decade. So the most general idea here is actually the first idea, right? People who do not exercise regularly after age 30 suffer the consequences, okay? And the other ones are the two supporting details. There's a couple of tricks that we can use for finding the supporting detail. One of them is to look for specific numbers, and this one makes it a little bit tricky because we have age 30 there. That's a specific number, so you might be tricked and say, well, the first one has a specific number. But the thing is that all of them have that same thing, age 30, after age 30, after age 30, after age 30. And we said that if we see repeated words, that's going to be part of the topic. So because after age 30 is in all of them, we're not going to use that as a clue for finding the supporting details. However, in B, we can see this 1 pound of muscle. There's a number, specific. Lose 5% of strength. There's a number, that's specific, okay? So the supporting details are going to be the things that are specific. So there's two ways of breaking down a paragraph. The one way is outlining, and we've talked about outlining before in writing. So with outlines, we have the major details and the minor details. Now the major details are going to be signaled by, those list words like first, second, finally. And then the minor details are the ones that explain the major details and give you more support. So if we take this example, this paragraph about fears, and this is in your book. I'm not sure of the page. I don't have it with me. But let me read it through, and then we'll talk about the outline. So certain basic fears are a part of our lives. For one thing, we fear being disrespected. Bullies play on this fear. They cruelly tease their victims and take away their self-respect. And we feel hurt and disrespected when somebody doesn't return our phone call or walks past us without saying hello. Another of our deepest fears is being alone. No matter how tough we act, we know that the poet who wrote "No man is an island" was telling the truth. We need each other. Not having other people in our lives makes us feel empty inside. So the main idea that's listed here in the outline is that certain basic fears are a part of our lives. And the major details, like we said, are going to be highlighted by those list words. So for one thing, and then we see another down here. So the first one is that being disrespected is our first major detail, and being alone is our next one. And then the minor details are the other sentences there. So bullies tease us, we're hurt when our phone calls are not returned, no man is an island, not having other people in our lives makes us feel empty. Okay, so that's how we make an outline. These are the tips that you want to look for, and I mentioned these before. For looking for the main idea, these are some clue words, especially in this book. You'll see them outside of this book as well, but certainly if you memorize this box here, whenever you see these, that's 99.9% of the time, that's going to be the main idea in this. So we see several kinds of, a number of 4 steps. This tells us that this is going to be the main idea. The second tip that we want to look for the major details are these. In this book, it calls them addition words. We talk about them in writing as list order words. They're the same thing. But we see here for one thing, and we see another. And those tell us about major details. So moving on to the next way of organizing is mapping. And mappings are kinds of diagrams. And we did this when we did clustering with our writing. Now again, this is just another way of outlining. It's taught in this book. For some people prefer this way, some people don't. I prefer outlines. I feel that they're easier to understand. But some people prefer this, and it may make sense for you to do the mapping. So the idea is that we have our main idea up at the top, and then each level down we're going from major supporting details, and then we're going down to minor supporting details. So the major supporting details here are being disrespected and being alone, and then these 4 boxes at the bottom are the minor supporting details. So here's another example, and we'll go through this and make a map of it. So in our busy lives, there are different steps we take to save time. First, we use modern inventions to help us do more in less time. For instance, we use a microwave oven to cook a baked potato instead of baking it in the oven. Or we use the self-checkout option at the grocery store rather than waiting for a cashier. We also save time by doing more than one thing at a time. For example, a student may finish writing a paper while eating breakfast, or we may take a shower and brush our teeth at the same time. Finally, of course, we may simply rush. We may save time simply by gulping a meal or running to catch a bus. All right, so which words in the first sentence tell you that a list is coming? And those words, I think it's going to show these all together, unfortunately. But those words are different steps. And so again, we call these ones list words, right? And the important thing about these list words is that they're plural, right? They're plural, and that tells us that that's going to be the main idea. The major details are each signaled with an addition word. So we have first here, then we have also here, and then we have finally here. Okay, and that signals those are the major supporting details. The things that come after them are the minor supporting details. So if we were to make a map of this, this is what it would look like. So we have the major idea up here, and we have the 1, 2, 3 minor. We have the main idea here, major support here, and then the minor support is down at the bottom. Okay, one thing that I want you to notice is that when the person is doing the mapping and doing the outlining, they're not writing out the whole sentence. And that's what you want to get in the habit of doing too. Because the purpose of having a map or having an outline is to give you just the essential information. Now, either mapping or outlining is something that's going to be useful for you moving up into 32 and 42 and 52 when you guys are asked to summarize articles. Before you summarize the article, you'll need to make an outline or a map such as this with just the major support and the most important things. Okay, so it's a skill that you'll be using going forward in your college career. All right, so just to review, the supporting details are the things that support the main idea. So they can be details, they can be examples, they can be description. The way that we want to find the main ideas is by using the list words, and those are the words that are pluralized, like several steps, a number of ways, four conditions or whatever, but you have them pluralized. And then we look for the addition words like first, second, in addition also, that tell us the major support. The outlining and the mapping are both ways of just capturing the main ideas, the most important ideas in a paragraph, and it is something that you will use going forward in your college career. Okay, so take time if you want to, after having listened to this, go back and look at the examples, sorry, not the exercises, the online exercises that you did. Also for Thursday, you're going to need to do the mastery tests. It may be useful to do some of the mastery tests in the book first and then do them online. Either way is fine. Okay, but the more practice you get, the better you'll do, and the better you will understand things. Okay, take care. Bye.